together. Radio Manu 91 where it's always better. Where it's always better. Yo, सुबह का सूरज या शाम का रंग, we bring you joy हर जुबान का धन. Community की बात हम हैं आपके साथ, let's spread the love. चलो मिल के साथ tune in, turn up, दिल से बात करो. Radio Manu 92 FM के साथ चलो. Every voice counts, हर लम्हा यहाँ. चलो बात करके देखते हैं, let's all shine on. Yo, let's all go. सेहत की बात or dreams to share. Radio Manu 92 FM, we're always there. From unity to joy, we bring the light. Every word, every tune makes everything right. Listen up, it's time to unite. Radio Manu 92 FM, shining bright. Dill se suno, we love and care. Chalo baat karke dekhte hain, let's take it there. So come along for the ride. Radio Manu 92 FM, we're by your side. चलो बात करके देखते हैं. Your voice, your guide.
आप सुन रहे हैं रेडियो मानो 90.0 FM. चलो बात करके देखते हैं.
This is Radio Manu 90.0 FM presenting Saheli Samvad.
आदाब हैदराबाद, मैं हूँ आरजे मोनिशा और सहेली संवाद के आज के एपिसोड में आपका स्वागत है. Saheli Samvad is presented by Center for Women Studies, Maulana Azad National Urdu University and Rubaru, a youth development organization working on issues of social inclusion with young people in Hyderabad for the last decade. On today's episode of Saheli Samvad, we have with us Archana Suresh, who has a career spanning 20 years, who's a consultant in the development sector, who's been the former director of TSIG, Telangana Social Impact Group, which is the CSR wing of the Telangana government, and is also the founder of Bring a Smile Foundation. On today's topic, we are going to be talking about women in different sectors and hearing from Archana in her career of the last 20 years, how that has played out. Archana, welcome to today's show.
Thank you so much, Monisha. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so excited to have you here. We've been, wanting to have you, and just like,
Yeah.
I think you're such a fun person also, like just the kind of insights that you bring in everywhere that you are, every conversation that you are on. So very excited to have you here.
Thank you. My daughter won't agree that I'm fun, but yes, I'm
Daughter's perspective sometimes can be maybe ignored in these.
and a little skewed sometimes.
So thanks Archana for joining us today on the topic, women in different sectors that you're going to be sharing about. So if before we even go into the topic, if you can share a little bit about your work, a little introduction about yourself for our audience.
Manisha, I think you did a fine job of introducing me. I've worked for more than 20 plus years. I spent 14 years in companies like Microsoft, Yahoo, HSBC, worked across cities in Hyderabad and Bangalore in particular. Then started an NGO while I was working in Microsoft, and this was in 2012. And the NGO continues to run. It's called Bring a Smile Foundation. We've clocked 14 years. We have 550 volunteers across 9 geographies. We raised about 2 crore rupees just by word of mouth. Because we are very particular about where we spend our money, and we let the donors know where the money is being spent.
Yeah.
And then in 2021, I pivoted into the government, into the Telangana government. I was part of TSIG, Telangana Social Impact Group, and then I went on to lead it for the state, which meant that we went to about 20 out of the 33 districts, wherein we brought in about 26 crore rupees of help in 2 years. In spaces like health, education, women empowerment, upskilling, environment.
Yeah.
And we built a network of about 800 corporates, 300 NGOs, 45 government departments. So worked across, fields and worked across functions of people and tried to do a bit to move the needle for humanity.
So interesting. Like while you worked in all of these different sectors, there also seems to be that there is also a intertwining of all of these, through the CSR wing, working with the corporates,
Yes.
through the government, through all of that.
That's right.
So Archana, so what for you? What for you was the difference that you maybe saw in all of these sectors? Was there a difference even, especially when we look at, say, women's role? We look at, say, leadership in women's roles. Did you feel like it is the same across the government, corporate, and the development sector? To begin with, maybe.
Okay, that's quite a
Are there similarities? Are there...
thought-provoking question from you, Monisha. I think, women in the three sectors, if I were to split it, right, there's the corporate world, there's the development sector, and then there's the government.
Yeah.
In the corporate, everybody's, in some ways got blinkers on. Everybody has to get a job done. There are timelines and everybody's working towards them. So I've met a lot of women I worked with who, of course, were juggling roles, right?
Yeah.
You have your home and family, and you have work that you have to get done at the workplace.
Yeah.
So of course the focus was there to get things done, and that continued. I learned a lot from a lot of women I worked with in the corporate. In the development sector, I find that of course because we are trying to solve societal problems, I thought women obviously were a lot more empathetic to get the job done for a greater populace.
Yeah.
Right. And I think what I found in the corporate was, I think women could navigate their way better across different functions or different
struggles,
verticals, right? Because you have to work very collaboratively and it's fairly structured.
Yeah.
In the development sector, I think women have had to sort of learn that more, because the development sector, unfortunately, in India is not very organized, right? So I think what I learned is that the rigor that I went through in the corporate kind of helped me navigate my way better in the development sector, and then and that progressed into the government as well. I was able to navigate better because of my foundation in the corporate, if I may. So we covered the corporate, we covered the development sector, and in the government, of course, you have lots of male voices at the decision making levels, and I think I would think we need more women in that space for voices to be heard and voices to be amplified. That's been my learning.
Okay. And curious to ask, like agency, like did women's agency, was it different anywhere? Because like just based on what you shared, seems like in the corporate space, whether it's in the development sector, whether it's in the government space, women still had to continue to juggle work in career, quote unquote, spaces and work at home, domestic work. Yeah. That unfortunately doesn't seem like there's a difference sector wise. Can I say that?
In my experience, I think the corporate is very, very rigorous, right? So I would think it's the tightrope walking was more there. But in the development sector, again, depends on if you're doing volunteering work, then you probably have a better grip on your time. But if you're my experience has been that in the development sector, it's not as rigorous. Depending on how much you choose to take on, right? So if you are one of those, foot soldiers at the front end, then of course there's a lot that you're balancing there. Yeah. But in my experience, I've not met too many women who've been doing that with full gusto. There's a lot of passion, yes, but to get things done, I think women need to get a little more aggressive, if I may, and move the needle in the development sector if you want more change to be felt and experienced by a larger populace. And in the government, of course, like I said, I think depending on where you are. So in the government, of course, there is a very strong sense of hierarchy, right? If you're a bureaucrat or an IPS officer, or if you've gone through the UPSC versus if you're a government employee. So I think women, the officer cadre obviously has more agency than the non officers. But yeah, my experience has been that everybody's managing at different stages, really.
At different stages, yeah. Thanks for starting us off on the topic of women in different sectors today. I think we'll follow into going into understanding what agency even means. How does that even play out some more when we look at roles that are both in career spaces, both roles at home? What does that mean? And in the whole structural understanding of systemic, gender, and how does that play out? Yeah. Dosto, we're chatting with Archana Suresh on the topic women in different sectors, and we'll be right back after this short break.
आप सुन रहे हैं सहेली संवाद, रेडियो मानू 90.0 FM का वुमेन्स शो।
You're listening to Radio Manu 90.0 FM, a community radio station.
So join the wave, come along for the ride. Radio Manu 90.0 FM, we're by your side. चलो बात करके देखते हैं.
Your voice, your guide.
This audio has been generated through AI.
This is Radio Manu 90.0 FM. Let's listen to the Mindful Minute.
वक्त, एतबार और इज्जत ऐसी चीजें हैं जो एक बार खो जाएं तो वापस नहीं आती। मशहूर कॉल।
हमारी नागरी लिपि दुनिया की सबसे वैज्ञानिक लिपि है। राहुल सांकृत्यायन।
The scariest moment is always just before you start. Stephen King.
ये है रेडियो मानू 90.0 FM। आप सुन रहे थे द माइंडफुल मिनट। For sales, marketing and brand promotions, write to us on Radio Manu at manu.edu.in.
So join the wave, come along for the ride. Radio Manu 90.0 FM, we're by your side. चलो बात करके देखते हैं.
Your voice, your guide.
आप सुन रहे हैं सहेली संवाद, रेडियो मानू 90.0 FM का वुमेन्स शो।
Welcome back from the break. In our conversation with Archana, we're talking about women in different sectors. So Archana, before the break, we were talking about really what are these three different sectors? How do women access, navigate some of these? What are some struggles? What are some similarities? What are some differences, right? If you can share maybe from your own life, from your own having been in these different sectors, have there been women who've really like pushed you, encouraged you to to sort of navigate these systems, these structures? What has that looked like for you?
Great question, Monisha. Thank you for that. So I remember I started my career in 2002, and I joke that's when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Not so long ago.
Yes, but it just feels like I can't remember a time before that really, because it's been more than it's been nearly 25 years. But when I started my career in a bank, and I remember that. When you're young and you're full of beans, you want to sort of make a mark, and you're very gung-ho about work and improving yourself. And I remember I wanted to do my MBA, an online MBA while I was working, because I joined soon after my graduation.
Yeah.
And I had to attend these online classes, and there was, for some reason, there was this one lady whom I used to report to who was not very encouraging of me leaving, twice a week for those online classes. And there came a point wherein, if I had to leave at 6 p.m., she would give me work at like 5:45 p.m. And, I had to sort of, either ditch my plans or change my plans. And I think I was 22, 23 years old. So I was too young to
push back,
right?
Yeah.
You kind of are very cognizant of hierarchies also at that point, at that stage of your life. So I remember going to my branch head and telling him that, look, I need to do this course, and what is the solution to this? And because this other lady was causing so much stress in me, he said, why don't you, I'm going to assign you to another lady, who's going to help you with your work, handhold you here, and hopefully you'll be able to, go for those classes. And that shift really made a big difference in my life, because I was able to continue with those classes, and I went on to graduate and finish my online MBA. And me reporting to this other lady really, really helped. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is, of course, just like men, you meet all kinds of women across three industries, across three different sectors. I've met some fantastic women in the corporate, of course, but I've also met some wonderful women in the development sector. Because I mentioned to you, Monisha, that we started this NGO called Bring a Smile Foundation in 2012. And if I may say so, we are about 550 volunteers across 9 geographies. And while there are so many men helping us in different endeavors, there are also women form the backbone of initiating help or making sure that there is a follow through with regard to causes that are taken up and outcomes that are delivered. So personally, I have met some women who are, so for example, in Bring a Smile Foundation, the second line, whether it's the treasurer, whether it is somebody helping us at the back end, whether it is someone helping us with verifying causes to see if they are authentic or not. A lot of them are a lot of women who take time out of their regular schedules, because you must remember, Bring a Smile Foundation everybody's a volunteer, nobody gets paid. So and women as such, typically we're always balancing home and work and multiple different roles that
hats
we play, and we are wearing different hats. So of course, like there are some fantastic male volunteers who are helping us with creating posters on WhatsApp or going to a particular school and checking it out and doing a recce, for example. But there are lots of women who are really backing up so many causes, because I think they are so used to also just multitasking. So I think that is one trait that comes naturally more to women than to men. And again, in the government, of course, I've met some senior officers who are very, very good. Women again who will ensure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Right? Those officers who again influence a fairly large segment of whether it's departments or a workforce, really. So that's been my experience across the 3 industries.
Thanks Archana. I think also what you also sort of are highlighting, that sometimes especially from the first story that you shared, sometimes it's not really about men versus women in this whole gender conversation. It's really to say that there will be great and not so great people across this, but then how do we look at it as creating access and opportunity for identities that really struggle in our world.
Correct.
So I think, and just sort of taking from there, I wanted to ask you, do you think there is when we talk about women also in these different career sectors, also, do you feel like, what does that graph look like for women from their, say, education to, say, retirement, if I may say? Because for women, for men, here I am differentiating men versus women. But sometimes for men, we know that there's education and then there's career, right? But for women, unfortunately, there's education, then there's marriage, then there's childbearing, then there's child care, and then there's domestic. So many of these domestic aspects that come in. That while it is not a men versus women thing, but there is a systemic sort of oppression, if I may say the word, that does
Conditioning
exist.
also.
Conditioning also, absolutely, right? So how do you think it plays out for women in these careers? Like, do we see as like from education to retirement, what does that look like?
So again, good question, Monisha. What I have seen is, again, boys and girls start off from the same start line, right? So if you look at the stats, girls and boys are doing, girls are doing very well in class 10, class 12, right? And even now, of course, in your graduation. But after that, once you start working, I have seen that the base of the pyramid, even if it's looking a little more equitable, as we go up and as this is, funneled up, I think lots of women drop off, the
ladder?
The ladder, for want of a better word. Because I think, of course, like you mentioned, because we play multiple roles, I think there are other priorities maybe that come in, or maybe I think by even sometimes when you don't even have too much of a choice, you just have to sort of make a hard choice between your job and something pressing at home maybe, or healthcare of some senior citizen at home or something like that. But I have seen this in my 20-year career where a lot of there aren't too many women at leadership levels, right? And I think that needs to be fixed very, very consciously, and that will happen only if we again go back to the grassroots, wherein we teach our boys that look. It has to be, you have to share the load, you have to be more collaborative, because unless we correct mindset thinking at the grassroots level or in the formative years of boys and girls, that pattern will continue to repeat, right? And now, of course, a lot of guys and men are a little more conscious of it. But I think we still have a long way to go, really, because, and I'll give you my example. I finished 20 years of working and now...
Sorry, Archana, hold on to that thought. Like, I think definitely want to go into your story to understand like what have been some of those struggles that you also had. So, but we should take a short break here.
Sure.
So, we're in conversation with Archana and it's getting heated, it's getting interesting. And we'll be right back after this short break on our topic, women in different sectors.
You're listening to Saheli Samvad, Radio Manu 90.0 FM's Women's Show.
आप सुन रहे हैं रेडियो मानो 90.0 FM, एक कम्युनिटी रेडियो स्टेशन।
So join the wave, come along for the ride. Radio Manu 90.0 FM, we're by your side. चलो बात करके देखते हैं.
Your voice, your guide.
This audio has been generated through AI.
आइए अब सुनते हैं अर्ज किया है।
आदाब दोस्तों, आप सुन रहे हैं अर्ज किया है रेडियो मानू 90.0 FM पर। आइए आज मुलाकात करते हैं उर्दू के मशहूर शायर सादत यार खान रंगीन से। सादत यार खान रंगीन का जन्म 18वीं सदी के आखिर में सरहिंद पंजाब में हुआ। वो उर्दू के उन शुअरा में शुमार किए जाते हैं जिन्होंने रेख्ता की रिवायत को मजबूत बुनियाद फराहम की। रंगीन अपनी जिंदा दिल तबीयत, शगुफ्ता मिजाजी और दिलकश अंदाजे बयान के लिए ख़ास तौर पर मशहूर थे। रंगीन की शायरी में इश्क, हुस्न, जिंदगी के रंग और दिल्ली की तहजीब की झलक साफ नजर आती है। उनका कलाम तकल्लुफ से दूर और फितरी जज्बात से करीब है। उन्होंने उर्दू गज़ल को एक नई शगुफ्तगी और जिंदगी बख्शी। उनकी ज़बान में मिठास भी है और नफासत भी। आइए उनकी चंद मशहूर अशार सुनते हैं। गैर की खातिर से तुम यारों को धमकाने लगे, आके मेरे रूबरू तलवार चमकाने लगी। और एक और दिलनशीन शेर, इश्क से बच के किधर जाएंगे हम, है ये मौजूद जिधर जाएंगे हम। सादत यार खान रंगीन ने उर्दू शायरी को सिर्फ अल्फाज की खूबसूरती ही नहीं दी, बल्कि उसमें जिंदगी के रंग और इंसानी एहसासात की गर्माहट भी शामिल की। इसीलिए उनका नाम उर्दू अदब की तारीख में बड़े एहतराम के साथ लिया जाता है। इसी के साथ दीजिए इजाजत, फिर मुलाकात होगी एक और अजीम अदबी शख्सियत के साथ। आप सुन रहे थे अर्ज किया है सिर्फ रेडियो मानू पर। खुदा हाफिज।
You were listening to अर्ज किया है। सेल्स, मार्केटिंग और ब्रांड प्रमोशंस के लिए हमसे राब्ता करें radiomanu@manu.edu.in पर।
So join the wave, come along for the ride. Radio Manu 90.0 FM, we're by your side. चलो बात करके देखते हैं।
Your voice, your guide.
You're listening to Saheli Samvad, Radio Manu 90.0 FM's Women's Show.
Welcome back, dosto. We're chatting with Archana on today's topic, women in different sectors, and it's getting very heated, like we said, very interesting. So, Archana, just before the break, you were talking about, women in careers and women in, what does that look like from education to retirement? How does that play out? But want to, right now, maybe just go into your own journey. What has that been like as a woman in this world, having really this 20-year spanning and navigating all of these different sectors? What have been your struggles? What have been your hurdles? Has it been as hunky-dory as, like, right now you're so amazing in how you're able to present yourself in so many spaces. You've been on TEDx, you've been on all of these things and talked so much. And sometimes we only get to see this amazing side of you on, say, social media, right? But what have there been struggles? What have been the struggles? How have you navigated and negotiated your way through that?
There have been lots of challenges, Monisha, if I may just put it simply. And I think all of us are blessed with a certain sense of resilience and focus if you have found your purpose in life, right? In my case, personally, I mean, if I were to sort of do a back paddle, of course, a lot of people know that my journey in the development sector began because of my late mother, right? She actually planted that thought, and unfortunately, she passed away. And I said this that. Initially, what I was doing in the development sector had also become a coping mechanism because I knew I knew how dark a place it was when I didn't find help. And I told myself that I'm going to be that channel or that conduit or that instrument for others to whatever extent possible. So it started off like that. And I think as the years progressed and as we built our own NGO, I remember I would be on the phone a lot, and sometimes my husband we would have disagreements, and he would wonder why I'm on the phone so much. And I'd give him examples. I'd say that if I got a request at 10 a.m. in the morning for a blood request, right? If there's somebody in the hospital who needs blood, we had to amplify the message right then and there. That couldn't have waited till 6 p.m. So those conversations, I had to sort of educate him and help him understand that certain jobs need a quick turnaround time or needed immediate action, and they couldn't be postponed. And I think in this endeavor, one person who helped me was actually an uneducated lady from a village in Andhra called Nirdavolu. So the lady who helped me, she's called Pushpa. So she was with me for 13 and a half years, and I strongly believe and advocate that unless women outsource their need for help to other people. In this particular case, it was another woman who really had my back from a household standpoint. Unless we do that more and more actively, we will not be able to go forward. So in some ways, I think women need to let go a little of that cape that we wear of
Yeah.
being, super women and superhumans.
Yeah, so
because
true.
unless we allow more women to hold us up,
Yeah.
we will not be able to do the same for others.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was one big. She was one lady who really, really
Yeah.
helped me.
Were there more women in your life like
You know,
this who've really
I want to challenge
helped you?
that typical narrative of a mom-in-law and a sister-in-law, not being
Saas
supportive.
bahu, yeah.
That trope of Saas
Yeah.
Bahu being what it is. I want to say that my mom-in-law has always supported me. Whenever I've told her about a certain achievement or a certain opportunity, she's
Yeah.
been very encouraging of me. My
Yeah.
sister-in-law, she sits all the way in the US, and she's, she's one person who's so pro women and so verbally supportive and otherwise also, right? Both the ladies would happily raise their hands if I ask them for help.
Yeah.
My co-sister again,
Yeah.
who sits in Australia,
Yeah.
the reason I'm talking about family is that sometimes we get so mired, with certain relationships. But
Yeah.
I think the world also needs to hear about other women in our lives who by convention have been placed in negative light.
Yeah.
But these are women who actually who can really propel
Step
you
up,
forward
yeah,
and
hold you.
help you step up. Absolutely. So whether it is of course colleagues at the workplace and your own social circle. Personally, in my case, whether it was my mom, whether it was the lady who helped me at home, Pushpa, whether it's my mom-in-law, sister-in-law, co-sister, these are women I am incredibly grateful to.
Yeah.
For having understood my purpose of wanting to be of some use to humanity.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for sharing, Archana. I think it is, like you said, I think it's really the sisterhood of women
Correct.
that really are able to. And again, there's also this other trope that, women are women's biggest enemy. Women are so many of these things that women are always catfighting. There's so many of these narratives that are unfortunately not helping women really be like sometimes, I won't say they're not helping, but sometimes we get stuck in that narrative. Unless we're able to undo and unlearn that in our own brains to say that no, women are amazing. Like it's a incredible community that can really lift each other up.
Correct.
Should we pause and just, hold space for each other?
And also, Monisha, I think there is a line in Sanskrit which goes Yatha Drishti Tatha Srishti, which
Yeah.
means how you see the world is how the world appears to you. So I think as human beings, if we were to sort of reach out to people with a sense of love and compassion,
Yeah.
that's what you get back in return as well.
Yeah.
And that has been my experience lots and lots of times. Of course, you have the odd times when it may not be, when
Yeah.
people may not be aligned, but then I guess then you just continue on your path and don't pay attention to to those forces really. But
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
Thanks. Thank you, Archana. I think so beautifully put what you shared about Yatha Drishti Tatha Srishti. I think so nice to really if we really have to take a pause and look at the world, then suddenly everything will appear the way we want, the way we see it really, right?
Correct.
So thanks. Thank you for joining us and for enlightening us and for just sharing your experience of working in the different sectors. What does that mean? How does that play out? How does it play out for women? What are some hurdles? And hoping that our audience can really take away to understand that, women lift each other up. It's really the sisterhood, the community that will help us go a long way ahead and really shatter so many of these gender norms that may exist.
Absolutely. I'm into that. Bonisha, and
thank you.
it's
Thank you for
been a
joining us.
pleasure
So
being
lovely.
here.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, dosto, that's it from today's episode on Saheli Samvad. We had Archana and she spoke about the women in different sectors. She also talked about all the women in her life that really lifted her up, helped her navigate her own struggles and challenges of what sometimes it can mean to be a woman in a career space. So thank you for joining us on this episode. And maybe you can think of one person, one woman in your life that has helped you, that has really shaped your journey, and maybe go say thanks. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back on another day, on another episode with another guest on Saheli Samvad. That's it from us. And if you haven't caught up with our other episodes, you can catch them on YouTube on IMC Manu. Meanwhile, stay tuned. आदाब.
आप सुन रहे थे सहेली संवाद रेडियो मानो 90.0 FM पर. चलो बात करके देखते हैं.
दिस इज रेडियो मानो 90.0 FM. चलो बात करके देखते हैं.